Hey everybody, I'm Elizabeth Ann Adkins. I'm co-creator of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing with my sister Catherine Marie Greenspan. And I have some exciting news tonight about this week at Two Sisters Writing and Publishing. Lots of exciting stuff is going on. Oh my gosh, wait a minute, hold on. We've been working super hard and now it's all culminating in awesome offerings for you. First, tomorrow, our author, Elaine Makas Phd, wrote A Young Man on the Front Line, Lessons of War, and tomorrow's Pearl Harbor Day. That's the day that the United States joined World War II. It's the day that Japan bombed the naval base in Hawaii. It is called Pearl Harbor. And her father was only 14 that day, but when he turned 18, he was drafted. And he ended up fighting on the front lines to liberate France and Germany from the Nazis. So he kept a journal on the battlefield, and Elaine actually took his journals and all the oral histories that she heard growing up from him, and she wrote this beautiful tribute in his voice, masterfully done. And I must boast that she's one of my book coaching clients, and she applied everything she learned in the course. She wrote this beautiful, beautiful book. Not only is it a gripping story about the war and this young man coming of age, but it's also a tribute to fathers and daughters. It's a wonderful celebration of freedom and independence, of world cohesion for peace as the Allies fought together to liberate Europe from fascism. Powerful. On Amazon, hardcover, paperback, goes on sale Monday, December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day. Please read this book. I wouldn't have picked up a soldier book. However, as I was reading it, I was enthralled. I couldn't look away. It was so gripping the way she wrote it. And there's beautiful moments too, like romance and humor, and it's just a delight. So I recommend it as a gift. A Young Man on the Front Line, Lessons of War by Elaine Makas Phd, and it's on Amazon right now. So there's that. We also just released another book by it's called Ask Dr. Ed, Baby's First Year, a Survival Guide for New and Experienced Parents by Dr. Eduardo Sanchez. Now, he started a pediatric clinic in the same community where he grew up in San Antonio, Texas. And the interesting thing about it is he wanted to write a book for parents to care for babies during their first year. Well, this is the best story. We were writing the book, and all of a sudden we didn't hear from him for a while. And then he resurfaced, and he's like, I'm having a baby. Turns out, while he was writing a book about babies, even though he had had a vasectomy, his girlfriend delivered the news that she was having a baby. So he is now pictured on the cover of his baby book with his baby boy, Grayson. Such a touching story. And this is a wonderful book. It's a how-to book. It gives you everything you need to know, an overview of taking care of a baby during the first year. It's also on Amazon in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. So check that out. It makes a nice gift as well if you know any expecting parents. And if there is a pandemic baby boom, we expect that a lot of these will be selling for parents who need some guidance on how to take care of their babies. So the third book we've published recently is Enough to be Dangerous by Mort Meisner. Now, this book came out on October 1st. It hit the bestseller lists on Amazon. He's gotten tons of media interviews, lots of positive feedback. And guess what? This Thursday, he is going to be featured on Extra, the national entertainment TV show, which has already posted the interview on Twitter. So you can go on Twitter, and I'll put the link here in the show notes. Super proud of Mort. I mean, he wrote this book he was very courageous. He talks about overcoming a cocaine addiction. He shares really disturbing stories about how he was physically abused by his father and emotionally abused by his mother. Overcoming some really difficult things and making it through, being a successful, positive person. And now he's a TV news talent agent. And he speaks out about racism in newsrooms, sexism in newsrooms, and it's really a hard-hitting book about all these topics. But he also talks about rock and roll and how Bruce Springsteen is his hero and his many times that he's seen Bruce Springsteen in concert and how the music of Boss got him through. And another thing is that he worked in rock and roll as a promoter in the 70s. So he has lots of fun stories about that with the top rock bands. So this is a great book. It's doing really well and it's featured on Extra. So check that out. We're really, really excited about all of this. 3 amazing books that we've published: October, November, December. So if you're wondering, where has Elizabeth been? I've been editing books. So it's really, really awesome to finally see the fruits of your labor take physical form in ways that can help and inspire and entertain people all over the world. All these books are on Amazon, and it's just really, really fulfilling and exciting. So another thing I want to announce is tomorrow on Writer Talks, the show that I do right here on our YouTube channel, interviewing the winners of our short story contests every month who are featured in our international anthology of short story writers. Last week, I interviewed Don Noel, who's celebrating his 90th birthday and writing like there's no tomorrow. It's awesome, really exciting. Oh my gosh, please check out the interview I did with him in Writer Talks from last Monday. It's here on the channel, Don Noel. He lives in a retirement community in Connecticut. He's just delightful. We had so much fun. Tomorrow, I am going to be interviewing Babitha Marina Justin from India. She is a poet and she's a writer. She won our short stories. She is so talented. And please join me, 7 o'clock Eastern USA time. Babitha Marina Justin. She's going to read some poetry, talk about writing, live from India, where it's going to be 5:30 in the morning there. Tuesday, while I interview her at 7 o'clock Monday night in my time. So it's going to be really exciting. Her story is called Blue-Eyed Brown Ant, that she won the short story contest. And, just coming after talking with Dawn, whose writing is so delightful. Oh my gosh. When I read these authors, these writers' stories, it's just like you just get swept away into their words. And when I had Alexis Cram on and when I had Warren Paul Glover on, they read their work, their poetry especially. Oh my gosh, it's delightful. If you like writing, reading, poetry, creative writing, it's just 7 o'clock Monday night, 7 Eastern, here on the channel, or catch the replay. But tomorrow's going to be special. And then after that, at 8 o'clock Eastern time is two sisters writing and publishing, Elizabeth and Catherine, doing our show 10,000 Things. The show where we talk about the 10,000 things you need to know to write and publish your book. And our special guest is going to be our mother. Our mother, Judge Marilyn E. Atkins, is going to be our guest on 10,000 Things, episode 12. She's going to talk about how writing her book, The Triumph of Rosemary, a memoir, launched her into many speaking opportunities that include being a commencement speaker at her alma mater, which was very special. So if you're a writer and you want to learn about how you can be a speaker with your book, then definitely want to hear her. Plus, she's really fun to hear anyway. She's super wise. She's a retired judge. She wrote her book all by herself without any, classes or anything like that or guidance from us. She just sat down and wrote it, and we published it. So we're very proud of our mother, Judge Marilyn E. Atkins, tomorrow as our guest on 10,000 Things right here on the channel at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. So lots of good things happening. Oh, wait, one more thing. If you're trying to write a book, you're stuck. It's scary. It's overwhelming. It's confusing. You've been trying to do it forever. No success. I'm the answer. I'm a book coach. I have a program called Write the Change Book Coaching Experience. And when I say write the change, it's a play on Mahatma Gandhi's edict, be the change you wish to see in the world. Well, if you're already being the change, you need to write the change and share that with other people. So my Write the Change book coaching experience is on the twosisterswriting.com website. You can sign up, and it's a 6-month program that goes from January to June. We meet monthly in one big group session. People all over the country join. You also get a 30-minute individual session with me every month, and you also get to participate in the Two Sisters Writing Club, which is 3 hours of time and space online joining us where you can ask questions. It's really fun to get your writing done, stay accountable. So we love this. We teach you everything you need to know to write, publish, and promote your book. And so please go to twosisterswriting.com. You can learn more about my Write the Change book coaching experience. If you don't want to do 6 months, you can also do single sessions. Or you can do an individual session with me as a book coach. So I'm here. I've written, I think, 35 books by now. And Catherine and I have written and published dozens of books. And so I know so much. I love to teach, love to share, guide, inspire. I have a very enthusiastic and high energy way of guiding you. And something magical happens when you work with a coach because there's this synergy that happens. Like you could sit down and try and write by yourself and you might go blank. However, when you work with me or any coach, hopefully, there's this third energy that explodes between you, and I call it creative synergy. It's your energy and ideas, my energy and ideas, and whoosh, magic happens. So here's an example of that. When Catherine and I were writing a book called The Making Point by Master Sergeant Cedric King, we would have phone interviews with him to get the content for the book. And one day he started talking, he was telling stories about, his experience in Afghanistan as an Army Ranger and how he stepped on a bomb, lost his legs. Now he's an inspirational speaker. One day he started talking about his breaking point. And then he said, and then I realized that my breaking point was my making point, making him into the successful, strong person that he had to be to become a triathlete on blades with no legs and an inspirational speaker across America. He said, I realized that my breaking point was becoming my making point. And thus, the book title was born. Not while he was sitting by himself and he had taken so many notes and brainstormed. No, it happened while we were all working together, and it was that synergy. And when those magic moments happen in coaching, it's so exciting. I have another coaching client. She and her husband are doing a book, and we had a session. We outlined the entire book. It was so fun. So they have their story, right? But when I came on the scene, it's like I was able to pick out the golden nuggets of the story and weave them together in an outline that I thought would be most coherent, cohesive, compelling. And it was like, bam, it was like this explosion of energy between the three of us. It was awesome. So anyway, if you'd like to experience that, instead of sitting there and like going blank when you try to write your book because you don't know where to start, you feel overwhelmed and you just step away from it and don't come back to it for a while and then just regret that you wasted all this time and your book still isn't published. I'm the one who can help you. So go to twosisterswriting.com, learn more about that. And you know what? I'd be happy to have a session with you, a discovery call, where I can explain all the things that all the ways I can help you. So please drop me a comment. If you're trying to write a book, you need help, we're here to help you. So then you can finally become a published author in 2021. And my motto during the pandemic is quarantine and write. Hashtag quarantine and write. That's a play on hashtag Netflix and chill. It might be fun to do Netflix and chill, not during the pandemic unless you're with your steady person and you're safe, but what do you have to show for it? Nothing except fun, a fun memory. Oh, great. Okay. What about quarantine and write? And you have pages, chapters, a book, a screenplay, poems, short stories. You wrote something, you created something that's going to last forever. So that gets into one of my mantras, fleeting pleasure or books forever. Fleeting pleasure or books forever. I actually have it on my wall. So that means you can enjoy some fleeting pleasure for a few hours and have a great time. But again, you have nothing to show for it. But if you invest that time and energy into writing a book, books forever. Books forever. And before the pandemic, I was at the Detroit Institute of Arts, and I was in this special archive. And I came across this giant book by Edgar Allan Poe, and it was The Raven, his poem. And the book was enormous. It was like 2 feet by 3 feet. It was leather bound, gold gilded pages. It was from the 1800s. And I literally was in tears. I was like touching this book, his words. I think it was 2019, I was looking at it. Here I am, all these years later, touching his creation, reading his creation preserved in this gorgeous book. That could be you, but you have to write it down first. You have to publish your book, and it will last forever. And you'll be so glad about it. Such a tremendous sense of fulfillment. And look, these 3 individuals took the action to make it happen, and here it is. So I had a similar moment when I did this book, my memoir. Probably the best moment of the whole time was when I gave my son his autographed copy and he looked at it and he's like, that's my mom. It was awesome. I was like, okay, I don't care what anybody else says. My son thinks it's cool that I have a book. Okay, look, all these physical things were just once an idea in your head, in someone's head, and now they're physical things that can help people all over the world. Don't you want to enjoy that kind of feeling? Good. Well, then watch 10,000 Things and learn all the things you need to know to write and publish your book. And if you need help, I can be your book coach. And read these books. They're all available on sale, and they'll all help you and show you examples of great books and how to write them. And so I hope to see you tomorrow. Writer Talks, 7 o'clock. Babitha, Marina, Justin, live from India, talking about writing and reading some of her poetry. Then at 8 o'clock p.m., 10,000 Things with 2 sisters and their mother. All right, I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, co-creator of 2 Sisters Writing and Publishing. If you're getting value out of this program, please do like, share, subscribe to our channel so you'll know every time we go live and post new videos, and click the notification bell. That'll help you get your alerts. And also, if you have any questions about writing or books or anything else about being a creative entrepreneur, please drop us a comment. Meanwhile, I hope to see you on all these shows, and happy writing.